Hello guys, my name is Amy and welcome to the highlight video for Brazil. Now, funny looking Abu Dhabi, I know. Initially, Abu Dhabi was going to be the last race of the season, and then we did a bit of a vote and people prefer Brazil. Personally, I prefer Brazil as well. Bit more open, less walls to hit, you know, the kind of scenario that I don't want to happen again that did at Baku. But anyway, last race of the season, I've got quite a few points in the bag. I think the season's gone pretty well, personally. Being my first season, I thought I'd be pretty crap. I'd say yes, I am still pretty crap, but at least I've been finishing the races. So all intents and purposes, the last 4 or 5 races, I've managed to get quite a few points, purely because I've managed to finish, because half of the field had DNF'd. And yeah, so hopefully it's going to be an interesting race. Not many people in it, unfortunately, but it's a case of we have a last race. A few little shenanigan things happened before, or pretty much straight after Mexico, and we weren't quite sure whether this race was going ahead or not. A lot of people wanted to leave, a lot of people left before this. Then there was a thing of various people were like, no, I want to win the championship. So he kind of wanted the last race to go ahead, and then it just got sort of all over the place, and we just decided to do it anyway. Then there was also the thing of whether the season was going to be null and void, which I don't think it has been voided. On my aspect anyway, I've not voided it. I carried on doing the graphics and things for it as per usual. So we do still have a driver's standings and a constructor's standings at the end of this race, and they will be put up at some point next week, and basically to show you how season 1 had finished. But first we've got to get this race out of the way and done with, so into qualifying. Starting my first fast lap then, and the good thing is I do know Brazil roughly. It's a case of quite a few fast corners. I don't really have the confidence in the car as much as other people, as Iconic has retired literally right off the bat, so that's going to be an interesting start for his race. But anyway, like I said, we've got 13 minutes left, and yeah, I'm a little bit, I'd say I'm still quite cautious. Now we have got strict corners on somehow. I'm not quite sure how I've managed to get round quite of these without a warning. It's one of them even halfway through the race, which you may end up seeing a few. I do run a little bit wide on some of them, and I'm wondering why I'm not complaining. I'll quite happily not have a 3-second penalty for corner cutting. But yeah, like I mentioned last race, corner cutting will always be on strict now. But after the first flying lap, we are P4. So we are faster than Liam at the moment. It's more than likely going to change. I am on the mediums. I'm not going to do a soft run because there's only about 9 or 10 people. So whatever tyre I qualify, that'll be the tyre I start on. So we'll start on the mediums. We do go out for a second run. I'd use this mainly as practice because obviously we've only got the 1 set of medium tyres and about 3 sets of softs, I think, for quali. And like I mentioned earlier, I want to qualify on the mediums. I know that might put me a bit further down, but it means I've got the softs to use later in the race. A little bit of a race strategy help from Keelan, because Keelan is in the party chat for this one. Unfortunately, he had a bit of a dicky stomach, so he was off work for this particular race. So he was in the chat sort of helping us both, actually, even though he is technically a Williams driver in this league. He was helping us both out. So yeah, he mentioned about going on the mediums because there's only like 9 or 10 people in. You're going to be on the tyres that you qualify on. and no new tyres that you're going to be starting on. So yeah, as we come over the line, and we're still P6. We didn't really improve. Still in front of Liam somehow. Not quite sure how that's possible, but we'll take it. But yeah, unfortunately we will be starting somewhere near the back because we're on the mediums. But bully for them. They've used the set of softs, and we'll have them for the race. Qualifying over then, and yes, I do out-qualify Liam for probably the first time this season. So both McLarens, 6 and 7. Bit of the middle of the field, obviously a few people didn't put times in. Not 100% sure why. So we're not starting right at the back, we're starting at the back of the timed people. But yeah, 6 and 7, not bad. On to strategy then, and unfortunately someone does click the button to start race literally straight away. So bit of a panic. It's for some reason put us on a 2-stop. It's put Liam on the same sort of 2-stop as well. Take a bit of fuel out because obviously we haven't got rich mix anymore. But yeah, basically just ignore that, because I do completely different. So formation lap done. 5 lights are out. Hang on a minute, where did he go? Bit of a false start. I got confused, hence my slow start. Red Bull steaming down the inside, which was Josh. I do get a bit of a collision warning. That's anticipated really. But Highbury is already out. He got a false start. I'm guessing that's why he got the drive-through penalty. And yeah, he's DNF'd. I way up. He's also missing half his car. Josh, unfortunately one of our new guys, is completely out of the race as well. Safety car deployed, I should hope so, with the amount of debris that is all over the track. So yeah, we're not even finished lap 1 and there's already 2 people out. I know there was a bit of shenanigans regarding certain people. I'm not going to name names, but there were a few people that basically it's a bit sour grapes. There's a few people that won't be in next season, and basically they were literally going to go out with a bang. Hugo has also retired. I believe he is the one that tried to take Oscar out in that little shenanigans in front of us then, because at this point Oscar is winning the championship, and I believe Hugo was going to sacrifice himself to take Oscar out so that Iconic can win, because it's a bit of a close battle up front in the championship regarding them two. So yeah, he basically tried to sacrifice himself. I'm not quite sure whether it worked, because he's still on the track, he's still in front of me. Nothing really has happened apart from we've got a safety car around, 3 people are out. But hey, it was a league race without a few people crashing out, especially in the first few laps. End of the safety car then, and no guesses for who's at the front of this queue. It is Toppy. He's in a Red Bull for this race, as Liam gets a time penalty. I'm guessing he's hit somebody during safety car, which wouldn't surprise me because of how much we are backed up, prepared to start racing or not, seeing as we're going like 12 mile an hour, or 60. But yes, right up to the line. Obviously I am last, so I'm keeping out of it, but we're off anyway. And yeah, it's it's been an interesting few laps. Luckily, no shenanigans into the first few corners after the safety car restart. We are P8 out of 8, but nonetheless, we are P8. And no damage. Now, the unfortunate thing is, during this race, there are quite a few technical little bits regarding the graphics. I will apologise now in advance, as there is another retirement. Kieran, another one of the new guys, unfortunately DNF'd, although he's got 10-second time penalty, so I don't know what that would be for. Hitting 2 different people during safety car maybe, but anyway, it doesn't really matter. He has retired, so we're down to 7 people. But as I was saying, there's a bit of a glitch regarding the MFD, and how basically it's a thing of, normally when you get damage it pops up on this particular damage screen to say you have damage. Today on this race it seems to be regarding, like, it's classing tyre wear as damage as well, because obviously it's had a bit of a patch, because it never did come up with the damage screen, so obviously they've tried to patch it, and I believe just patched it wrong. So it's a case of the damage screen does pop up as I go wide, strict corner cutting, shush, no illegal there. For some reason, I don't know, I'm not complaining, but anyway, each percentage on your tyre, effectively the game thinks you have damage. So
Caution.
I apologise in advance that it may keep popping up, and it does start to annoy me at some point as well.
DRS has been enabled. DRS is now enabled.
But yeah, a few yellow flags going off. Unfortunately, James has spun it. Easy done, I guess. Turn 1, turn 2. It's a case of, I have a bogey corner on each track. I try and not get on the curbs if I can help it. Because yeah, it seems to be a different profiling on this game for the curbs, so you're more likely to spin, hence why I'm very cautious and very slow. Some people probably are on this game a lot more than me, know how to work the car, how to work the game. I clearly need a bit more practice on the game in general, I think, to be honest, so that I can learn how to use the curbs without them spinning me. But anyway, we're coming up to the end of lap 6, and we're P6 out of 7. Starting lap 10 then, and before my subtitles came up at the bottom, Zach has retired. We're down to 6 people now, as we're coming up to where he's gone off. Not sure what happened. I would have thought he would have gone off on the right hand side there, but clearly hit the wall on the left. But anyway, we are down to 6 people. We are P6. James did get past me. He basically dive bombed me in that corner we've just gone through. There was no chance of being able to defend. But we have a change of strategy as I track extend again and get away with it. I basically get away with it every time. I don't know why, and I'm not complaining. But yeah, it's a case of, even though my strategy at the beginning of the race said to do a 2-stop, there's no real need for a 2-stop, because these mediums are lasting me. Now, obviously I did do 2 stints in quali as Liam comes into the pits. They're not really that bad. If you see there, it's like hardly any wear to them, so I can go a lot further on these tyres. Now, Liam obviously came in that lap, so I didn't want to come in as well, as Oscar comes out in front of me, which is fine. It's not a problem. I'd rather him come out in front of me than have to try and overtake me and I end up coming out of it worse. Because Oscar is the better driver, hence why he's at the top of the championship. But yeah, it's a case of Liam has gone on to the hards, basically to get to the end, I'm thinking. And yeah, we're going to try and run on these mediums as long as we possibly can, and try and do a one-stop ourselves. End of safety car number 2 then, and we get off pretty quickly this time, even though Toppy's still at the front. For some reason my pit lane indicator, my little blue line, does come up. I'm guessing it's when my pit window should be. I've not had a thing to say my pit window is open, but I don't intend on coming in anytime soon anyway, because my tyres are fine. But yes, James goes and attempts another bit of a dive bomb, pretty much where he dive bombed me before. A little bit weavy there, so I do brake just so he doesn't hit me, because I don't want to be collected from that. The problem is, obviously, I've got Liam behind me and he didn't realise I was going to brake. I don't think he got damaged. I don't think he was anywhere near me. So yeah, it's a case of, obviously, his awareness needs to be a little better, but it's a case of, you know, at the end of the day, it's all fun and games. And it's now a case of Liam's managed to serve his time penalty in the pits as well, so he now doesn't have a time penalty. No one in front does. Even I don't have a warning at this point, as my pit line is still there. It will be there, unfortunately, until I pit, and that will not be anytime soon, because these tyres still feel pretty good. And yeah, like I said, it's going to be a case of try and run them as far as I can, and hope that I can do a one-stop. So lap 14, we're P5. Lap 20 then, and we finally come into the pits. Now, unfortunately, yes, my blue line stayed up every single one of them laps. So we come in lap 20 and we go on to softs. Now, I didn't have that much damage on the mediums, even though I was on them a few times in quali. So 15 laps on the softs should be no problem. It really should not. Especially seeing as the majority of the front runners in this race started on softs. So yeah, it's one of them. Ideally, they should go to the end, so we'll keep an eye on them. And yeah, and a bit of a lonesome race now. We are still P6 and quite a way behind Liam. Obviously, Liam's still on the hards. There are a few people that may still need to pit, but I can't see them coming anywhere near me, because obviously I am so far back now. And yeah, so at the moment, still quite a few points for both me and McLaren as a whole, with Liam in P5. Let's hope he actually keeps this one this time, because it's one of them. I think if he gets P4 or above and a fastest lap or driver of the day, he will beat Keelan. So that'll be playing on his mind more than likely. So yeah, not far to go, as I have faster cars approaching me, which does not surprise me. But yeah, we're a bit spread out all over the track at the moment, even though there's only 6 of us. So we'll see how this goes. Lap 33 then, and Iconic has retired. The guy that would have been on to get the championship potentially, it was between Iconic or Fridge, and 3 laps to go and he's binned it. Not quite sure whether he would have got it at that point. I'm not 100% sure on that one, but seems as though one of the guys that wanted to finish the season hasn't finished the season. So yes, we are technically down to 5 people. It hasn't quite updated on the side yet, but we'll catch up to him at some point. Liam is then up to P3, because obviously he's P4 at the moment. Now he's gone past where Iconic dropped out. So yes, Liam is now P3. He's on the podium. We will be promoted up to P5. And a bit of a shake-up come the end of the race. Nothing really happened since about lap 22 when I came out of the pits. Liam did change onto the softs about 2-3 laps after me, so he's just effectively Bandai bobbing it. Onto our last lap, because we have been lapped and we are P5, and I'd say overall really good end to the season, especially for McLaren. I know Oscar is currently in P4, but because he's finished at this point, he gets more points than Iconic, so he will more than likely, if he finishes as he is, he just has to finish and he'll get the championship now. Because of the 90% and how the game works, Iconic does technically get his points for this. I know it says he's DNF'd, but you'll see at the end it will say he's something like +3 laps, so he technically still gets the points. But Toppy goes over the line. Ignore that he says Red Bull. He should technically drive for Alfa Romeo. So yes, Toppy wins. Someone in the wall, I'm not quite sure on why. I think that was Toppy trying to do a bit of a celebratory end to his season. But yeah, we come over the line. We're P5. Watching Liam, and he's technically P2. Oscar dropped it, which I completely missed, which promotes Liam to P2. James gets P3 on his debut race, so that'll be a win-win for him, bless him. And Liam's first ever podium in his own league. And he's literally blown it completely out of the water. You know, it's like he only needed 4th and he's well exceeded everything. Oscar does try and do a few donuts. Unfortunately, I do miss a few of them. But yeah, a little bit of a pile up on the line as people celebrate. But yes, Liam, driver of the day. So, Toppy wins the last race of the season. Liam on the podium there in P2, bless him. Looking all proud as punch. If he was actually on the podium, he'd be embarrassed as hell, bless him. And then James on his debut getting a podium. He's not really, it's just GG, mate, you know. If that's what you're going to do on your first race, good luck to next season. Final classification then, and yeah, as you can see, Iconic does technically get his points for that race because he finished within the allocated percentage of race completed. So yeah, we get P5, Liam gets P2, and yes, Oscar on Fridge, the Ferrari, does win the championship. Now unfortunately Ferrari don't win the constructors, that goes to Mercedes. So well done Mercedes for the constructors, but overall well done Fridge for the drivers. So guys, that was Brazil. As I said at the beginning, funny looking Abu Dhabi, but highly enjoyed Brazil. I knew both tracks anyway, so it wouldn't really been a problem. But I prefer Brazil over Abu Dhabi because of the walls. May not have finished Abu Dhabi, but hey, half of the field didn't finish Brazil, and we ended up P5. So overall, really great race. Liam in P2 getting his first podium of the season. Unfortunately, the only podium he got for the season, and he got driver of the day as well. So just rub it in for Keelan, because yeah, they had that little battle going on. Because obviously Keelan hasn't been racing for a while, and Liam needed to catch up, and he caught up and a bit more. So yes, he managed to leapfrog him in the championship. Regarding the championship points, keep tabs on my Facebook and my Instagram. The full driver and constructor championship points will be going up as their own separate post, ready for season 2. We don't have a full start date. We have a calendar sorter. We don't have a start date for when that will begin for season 2. So again, feel free to follow on Instagram and Facebook and stuff, so that you can get notified when I post, when the start of the next season is going to be. As of recording this, I do not know when, if, or it's definitely going to be a few weeks, so you won't get another one of these videos for a few weeks yet. Regarding YouTube and Twitch in general, I will be starting to regularly upload and stream again when it comes to September. So I'm going to have a couple of weeks off for like a bit of a summer break, basically getting a load of stuff sorted, my side of like health wise, uni wise, and stuff like that. A few other personal issues chucked in as well, unfortunately. So guys, if you like this video, please leave a like rating. If you're new around here, if you could subscribe as well, that'd be even better. Next to the subscribe button is a little notification bell. That'll let you know when I upload. Like I said earlier, I do not know when my next video will be, so make sure you have got them notification bells turned on for when I do upload. So guys, I'll see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye!